Hello and a very good evening to you. I'm Phil Griggs. Welcome to Cafe Clairvoyance. This is the Tuesday evening show, the spiritual show. Tonight I'm joined by a very, very special guest. If I can get her online somehow, having a few complications here, but I'll be joined with Helen Grady. Helen Grady, the wonderful spiritual medium. So good evening, people. You can look forward to a wonderful show tonight. It's going to be very interesting. Loads of stuff to discuss with you and your live mini readings as well. Look forward to it and see you in a mo. So, how's your week been? I hope it's been very well and good. It's a wonderful evening out there, isn't it? It's down here in Spain. Very, very warm indeed. And lovely to see so many people on already. Right. Okay. Marlene says, I think it was on the wrong time on Sunday. Well, okay. You're on the right time tonight, but I say here. And Paul's online as well. He wants to say hello. And a very good evening too from the producer, and joined by a guest up there tonight as well. So, good evening to you all. I thought to give you a little bit of a round of applause, to do that sort of thing here. And I thought I'd try and do here. We've been having problems trying to get hold of Helen tonight here, so I hope things are going to work out a little better. But let's just try something here, shall we? Okay, someone's at the door. I'm just going to find out who that is. Excuse me, just a moment. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Hello. We thought we'd join you together. How's that? A little bit of a surprise this evening, side by side, and we could just chat away with you and, yes, entertain you, annoy you, probably.
More like it.
Well, I'll annoy her. Anyway, very good evening to you. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we'd just like to enjoy you and wish you well. Hope you're feeling well. Hope things are okay. And guys, this is what we'd like you to do during the show. Well, good evening again, once again. Yes, if you could please share the show. If you're watching it live, if you could possibly share it, that would be absolutely fantastic. This is a free show, guys. It gets out there to many different people. We just like to spread the word. So there's one request we have just for a free show is to share it, like it, tell everybody about it. And yes, the more people get on the show, it's lovely to just chat to you all. And okay, Cheryl is written in twice. She's written in twice. I think she's trying to get her point across here. She says, hello, guys. She's written in twice. I think the second one was like, hello, guys. You know how Cheryl gets.
Why not?
No,
Sometimes you have to tell them
why
twice.
not? Okay. Right, yes, I have had a very good day. And I hope you've had a very good day as well. Have you had a very good day?
Yes, I have actually.
Good. What have you been up to? Anything nice?
Well, I was picked up. I felt like the Queen actually in
Yes.
the car, and I was brought to this lovely apartment, and I've been fed and watered.
You're growing now. You'll find yourself growing.
Hopefully, I don't go to sleep.
Oh, that's hope you not too. Paul says a very good evening to us all. Thank you very much, Paul. Lovely to hear from you too, as does everybody else coming through. Helen Graham says hello, good evening. That's a nice little picture you got around there as well. What's going on there? It looks very nice. And we've also got everyone else coming in. So I thought we'd start off the evening as we're together here, because sometimes we don't get this together this time. No, we don't often get this, do we? So it's just nice to chat to everybody. Eleni says, good evening, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, Phil and Helen. Had a lovely day. I am so glad, guys. We've got loads to talk to you about happiness. Especially it comes up to the show coming on tomorrow, but I'm sure we'll share a little bit of this today. And if we were to focus on here about, because there's lots of people been working with this week, and maybe you've come across these particular people as well, where sometimes they're focusing on negativity rather than positivity.
Oh, all the time.
All the time.
Live in the moment.
Now, that's an interesting thing.
Send out positive and you get positive back.
Ah, dear.
I think lots of people like to encourage people to have doom and gloom because that's how they feel, and that's very wrong.
Yeah, I think it is, isn't it? Good, it is, and I think here it's interesting because when we this is something I was talking about on the show the other day, and I was talking about this with Guillermo the other day as well. Is when we focus on things that haven't gone right in our lives in the past, it doesn't mean to say that today you've still got to focus on the same emotion that's guiding you forwards in this life. And where spirit are concerned, all they want to do is send through the love and positivity. They see it from a global picture without emotion of, say, jealousy, envy, restriction, things like this, as we do in the physical world. They tend to see this here that that they're very open-hearted. So all they want to do is bring through love. Now, when we talk about how spirit come over to us here, that's an interesting subject itself, isn't it? How would we were discussing before here different types of mediumship. Is there a particular type of mediumship that you prefer?
Well, to be quite honest, as long as I get the information, I don't mind how it comes. But as I've said before, Phil, depending on which spirit comes through, they will show me how they want me to get it over.
Okay.
Whether I have a feeling, which is an empath, isn't it?
Yes.
Clairsentience.
Yes.
Whether they show me images on the wall, which is clear seeing, clairvoyance. I might get a little whisper in my ear.
Clairaudience.
That's correct.
Thank you very much. I'm doing well here.
He's doing well. And of course, sometimes if I feel a spirit come really close, if they really want to get something over, I'll go. You'll notice that I'll sit up because I'll sit up and then I'll get goosebumps and they'll like impress on me their feelings and how they were physically sometimes or how they passed, depending on what they want to tell me. So you don't get a choice. Well, I don't.
That's an interesting thing because sometimes body posture, when you actually read it for someone, sometimes, and it's interesting you say that you sit up.
At least,
and sometimes because the spirit was a very, say, energetic or strong soul, and sometimes they do. They do. You get this impression of someone's here and you're sitting up. Oops, what's coming through? But then you get the other side, don't you, where sometimes you just want to relax because I've got a very gentle spirit Chilled, and it almost makes you physically want to withdraw and sit back a little bit. Very interesting when it comes through. Okay, so we talk about different types of mediumship. This is my good friend Helen Grady. She's my good friend.
He thinks I am.
He thinks I am. I've paid her lots of money.
I am.
Thank you. Anyway, right. And also here, what we're talking tonight is about mediumship and different types of mediumship before we get on to your types of readings. Now, one of the things that I've actually, I think you've worked with as well, is actually physical mediumship.
Oh, what happened then?
No, nothing.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I'm not used to sitting at a big screen.
That's hilarious. Nothing happened.
Yeah, you know.
No.
Oh, you mean, go on, you said.
Yeah. So sometimes you're taking on the spirit, like they impress upon you.
Yeah.
Press upon you. So, for instance, you get the feeling that they're part in you, so to speak.
Yeah, I get that quite a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't go trance or anything like that, but they impress themselves upon me.
Okay.
And I think when I'm sat down, it's different. But if I'm stood up doing a church service and I'm stood and I walk, then they really push. I don't know whether it's with the walking up and down, getting the energy going. It is different.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
And I think here as well, sometimes you can actually pick up, sometimes you get the smell.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I've had sometimes people's smells and they absolutely honk.
I know.
Yep.
But you can't say that. You've got to try and put it over nicely.
It is funny, but I know sometimes before they passed over, they may have had kidney problems. So their urine actually seeps through their skin because it can't be absorbed through kidneys. But sometimes lots of hygiene. You actually get, or even like the roll they did here, because you may get the smell of engines or the smell of wood.
Or flowers or cigarettes.
Yes, cigarettes, yes, and aftershave.
Yeah.
Aftershave perfume is a big one, isn't it? So sometimes these are the things you make it. Now, all of you here, I'd say, no matter if you'd say here, but I'm not psychic. I might be spiritual, but I'm not a medium. I would say here, you're wrong. You are. I would say you are, without defending you. If that finds offensive, I would say here that you are, because I think all of us get the impression somewhere along the line here that we've felt, we've sensed, we've experienced something which is we can't really put into words. It's something which is
know.
You just know, isn't that? I think that's one of the biggest things about life itself, and even about spirituality, is the sense of knowing. You just know something. Yeah. And I think that's
intuitive, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, very intuitive, very, very intuitive here. Yes, I think we're the only two people in Spain at the moment without masks.
I was going to put mine on for the laugh.
Taz, by the way, has got her mask on. Can you see that? Yeah, she's wearing her mask. Well done, Taz. You're wearing your mask. So I hope the other guys will wear your masks there tonight. Oh, that's funny. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Funny, funny. Anyway. So, and the other type of mediumship we're going to a little bit talk about is when we take on trance mediumship. Have you ever done that?
Not that I know of. I've seen a few. The first ones I seen, I'll be quite honest, I thought, what a load of baloney. You know, so Fu Manchu's going to come through and talk, and it's like being in the Chinese restaurant, I'm sorry. And I see... No, I have to be honest and tell you, this is the first time I saw it. I was very sceptical, and then I seen a gentleman come who was big chief sitting bull. He suddenly sounded like a Native American. He then sounded like one of the doctors at work, which is a completely different Indian. And then he's talked in a Bradford accent, and I thought, I'm not having any of this.
Not having any of this.
And of course I was pulled out because I laughed, because it was laughable. But I have to say, I've seen one person do it really, and it was nothing like what these people were doing. Mm-hmm. It was that intense that the whole room, we all sat round a table, it went freezing cold, and this man, I won't say his name, suddenly changed into an old man, his posture, everything, and he was speaking Mexican Spanish to somebody who was at the table come in last minute. Nobody knew them. And it was unreal. I couldn't take my eyes off him. I was riveted. And I thought, well, if this is what trance mediumship is, it's far and few between, because there's a lot of clowns out there that are pretending, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And it's what puts people off like me to believe in it. But now I have seen it only once, and it was the real McCoy.
Yes, I've seen it a few times.
Only once, so that's all.
I saw it in New York a few times, and the first time I thought, what's this? It's very strange. But then went back to see the guy again and see him work with a group of people. I must admit, it was very, very interesting.
Yes, yeah.
Very interesting. Yes, Helen Graham says here, she says, agree with you, Helen, I've seen some that have been unbelievable and one who was wow.
Yeah.
Yes. This isn't a real show. I think you had to go and do it, trance, if we wanted to even try go into trance.
Put the music on. Put the music Have a puff. Not really, I don't smoke.
Oh, right, I thought you did something else. Anyway.
Well.
Okay, so so these are different types of mediumship. I tend to work here. And I probably meant to work with similar to what you guys do, is I hear them a little bit, and sometimes I literally have to stick out my ears to get the sense of hearing even stronger. And sometimes you get, but they all come through in different ways. Mm. And even the group I'm working on now are just absolutely fabulous group I'm working with at the moment to develop their mediumship skills. They are incredible in the way that they are developing so fast, and yet they are building relationships with each other. Like to say, well, we've known each other before. And sometimes you find spiritual groups like this, and maybe you guys agree with me here, that when you have a spiritual belief and then you start meeting people, the people you meet are people you've often met before somewhere else.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Well, when I met you, I felt as though I'd known you for ages.
Yes.
And I think today times are changing and people are looking for something else, and now they're tuning into their own abilities.
Yes.
And that's why they're coming on in leaps and bounds, which is great. Because,
Yes.
you know, the young ones coming up today especially, you need more mediums.
Yes. Tim Abbott comes online here. He says here, we have to be careful how we measure trance mediumship. There are many different states of consciousness, absolutely.
Yes.
And in some states of consciousness, for example, inspirational states, the medium may influence what is being said. Doesn't mean the spirit world is not there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Well said, Tim, and I think there's a lot of people out there who would absolutely agree that the media would jump on this and talk about it how they want to talk about it. So yes, it's but the interesting thing is though, isn't it interesting that science, physics, quantum physics, all this energy is starting to come close together with spirituality, and we're all understanding there is another dimension. And they're seeing it too. Interesting enough here, one of the areas of life which I was absolutely fascinated with is the amount of people in the forces who have a spiritual belief. And when I was talking to a lot of people, they said that they have to believe in something which protects them, which is stronger than what they would have normally have worked with. And it's an amazing amount of people do.
Well, my son's in the forces. He's been in nearly 20 years. And he never went to church. We were brought up very strict Roman Catholics and he never went. But when he went in the army, like you've just said, the pastor used to come and see him and they had to believe in something, otherwise there was nothing.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to go to where he had to go to, the war-torn zones.
Mm.
And if they had nothing, then what was the point of going?
Exactly. I mean,
and it gave him that comfort to think that he could... You know.
Yes.
Talk to God, talk to angels, talk to whatever.
And I think it's a big thing. I mean, sort of when I've done readings with people, even when they were, their spirits passed over and they were a pilot during the war, the times they come over because they had a spiritual belief, and their spiritual belief was something that they took from their loved one. In this particular occasion here, it was a little tiny elephant. And I said when I was giving this message, said he didn't take his elephant with him, which in most cases here was thinking, what are you doing with an elephant? This is an elephant in his plane. And he got shot down, but he wanted to say here, said thank you for the reef outside Rotterdam. And she said, yes, that's where she'd just been, to lay a reef there after the war. Every year she goes back. And so it's absolutely lovely. But there is that infinite belief that connects love. Love is the big divine energy between us all. Divine energy connects us all to connect us to the spirit world. I think is massive.
If there's nothing to believe in, what's the point in going on, really?
Yeah.
You know, you're just existing, aren't you?
Yes. Laura Grant says, I want to say thank you for my brilliant reading last week and to let you know how strong the evidence was. An example of it being true, you suggested I eat more alkaline foods. And I've just got out of hospital for stomach ulcers and a heart attack. Oh my goodness. I knew about my heart, but I had no idea about stomach ulcers. Now I need to eat alkaline foods. Wow. Well, we're so glad that we can pass messages over like that. We never get wrapped up in medical stuff, but we listen to what the spirit world is saying and get involved in that. But Laura, fantastic. So nice to hear a message like that. And I'm glad you're okay. Absolute blessings to you. Glad you're okay. Blessings to you. Yes. Lovely to see you back on the show. Now, this is something interesting as well, because I grew up feeling that there was something else out there, but didn't have a Scooby-Doo.
I know the feeling.
Anyway, and nothing you were to say?
Yeah. Even though, like I said, I was brought up in a very strict Irish Roman Catholic family, and anything else that you couldn't believe in, because you'd be dealing with the devil. It's very frowned upon. But... And like I said to you last week, the thing about the wolf on the window, I always thought was, and also, I know this sounds daft, I didn't really want to say it, but I will, because I used to think that there was someone else up there on another planet like me who was exactly doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it meant.
Yes, I understand it. But when I got into this, my family just turned against me completely, saying that I was... they didn't understand it. They didn't understand what spirituality was or what spiritualism is, and that there's the belief that our soul is eternal and that we can move on. Yeah. And yes, it took them quite a while to actually get around to the idea there is something there. Anyway, but we both stepped into this later in life. It's funny that we both share that same experience. So... Yes, lovely, lovely, lovely. Anyway, good evening to you all. I hope you're having a nice evening out there. We're coming up to 20 past 8 in Spain, about 20 past 7 in the UK, and wherever else you are in the world, you guys, you lovely people. And yes, by all means, let us know where you're from. And we're going to come up in about 10 minutes, maybe sooner than that. I think maybe actually because there's quite a few guys.
Like I'm looking in the mirror.
You're looking
I'm looking cockeyed. I don't know which way to lean.
Sorry, it's because the camera switches it round the other way. So
then.
I point that way, and it's not that way; it's the other way. But then you guys don't know that, so you'll think we're just getting things
I don't know what
where
to
we're losing.
I'll just stay like this.
Yes, just stay like that. Good idea. Good idea. Okay, Lydia says hello. Now, just so you hear, Lydia is very, very nice lady, but she's just starting on a spiritual development group, and she said to me 2 weeks ago, I don't think I'm right for this group. I don't think I'm right for it. I cannot get a message through. And I said, Lydia, just persist because totally believe in you. Totally, totally believe in you. And amazingly, 1 week later, whoom, out it all came. Out it all came. And everyone there in the group just watching where she was just absolutely shocked. Amazing. We'd like to welcome Deanne back from New York. Fascinating subject. Thank you. Very inspiring. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed. Glad you enjoyed there. Yes, keep it okay here. And Trudy Hunter says that she's from Javier, just down the road. Hello, Trudy. And Marlene is from Manchester. Manchester is a beautiful place. I've been there several times doing work in casinos and holiday parks, doing events up there. So it's always, I love going to Manchester. Lovely place. And okay, yes. We got some. Now, isn't this nice? This is another lady from the Spiritual Development Group. This is Sarah, and Sarah says Lydia is amazing, and Lydia is amazing. So it's just an in-group thing going on whilst having a conversation there. But it's nice when you get someone else saying Lydia is amazing, and for a person who, an amazing person that she is, to say, I can't do this. And that was 2 weeks running. He says, I just can't do this. I don't feel like this works for me. And all of a sudden, whoom.
Yeah, that's it. Now she's had it.
No, she's had it. That's it. The door is open now. Door is open now. And fantastic. So Lydia, so proud of you. And Sarah, you're just incredible too. So it's lovely to, and all you guys out there, just incredible. And welcome to the Cafe Clairvoyance, where we chat. We like to entertain you guys with stories, life, things like that, connecting spirit with this world, and working with you guys to keep you happy, entertained. And of course, you must have coffee in the Cafe Clairvoyance. Cheers, bye. Yes. I'm just going to, if I can find this now. Oh yes, I'm just put that. So I'll just top that up for you.
Sounds like something else.
Believe me, it's water. Anyway, right. Okay. Brilliant. Right. This is a brilliant question here. What was the very first sign that you had as this gift? What a good question. And I think a lot of other guys out there would say, oh, yes, I've seen a sign. I saw something. What was it for you?
When I look back, it was probably when I was 16, 17, because I was only a cadet nurse then in the hospital. And that's when I did last offices. That means you can say laying out or preparing the body, but it was called last offices. And I can remember a nurse took me with her to do it, and we opened the window to let the lady's soul go, and I thought, oh, it's not much this. And then a strange thing, and I thought I was seeing things, was like like when a kettle's boiled and there's just a little bit of essence, as we say.
I love that word, essence.
And
spirit.
I thought I was seeing things, and then on nights I would see other things, but just dismissed it, thinking it's your imagination, you know what you're like when you're at that age. And then later on I'd do party tricks when we'd had a few drinks, like reading the froth on the beer glass or holding somebody's hand, but never really took much notice of it until later on in life, and then since I've come to Spain.
It's amazing. And that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it wasn't. Yes, that was it. I think for me, I didn't know anything about it whatsoever.
No, not when you're a child.
No, it was only back in 1983, 84. My cousin went to see a palmist And I was working on submarines, and I had no idea about this sort of life. Even though I knew there's something else out there, I didn't know what it was. And I just thought, initially, what a load of old rubbish. And as you do, when you're that age, thinking, oh, this is rubbish. And unless you're immediately thinking, oh my God, that's it. But I went to see this. I went to see his palmist. He's down in Plymouth in the UK. And he did a reading for me, and he told me a lot of things that I worked on water. He knew a lot about me. But then he said, you're going to leave the job you're doing, become self-employed, and work as a psychic. What? What? And he said, I said, well, A, how do you spell it? And B, what does it all mean? What does this all mean? So, yeah. And then as soon as he started talking about it, I just didn't think much about it. And then 6 months later, I went through this market at Milton Keynes in the UK again. And there was this market stall, and one of them was a Romany. I thought, okay, I'm going to go and sit down and see what she says. And as soon as I sat down, she looked at me. She said, you're a psychic. I said, there's either a conspiracy theory going on between you lot or something. I've got to know something. She said, just go and buy a book, anything you like. She was a Romany. Go and buy a book, anything that you're attracted to do with his palm reading, tarot cards, mediumship, clairvoyance, psychic work. Just go to one you're doing there, start reading it, and you'll know what I mean. As soon as I opened a page there, started reading it, and I bought a book on palmistry, something changed. It's like a third hand appeared. If I could put a third arm appeared, and it was the tool I needed to connect. And as soon as I went there, the journey started. That was it. About 2 years later, I left the Navy. Yes, and on we go on our journey. I've got to tell you though, as any of you guys out there would understand here, the work of the medium, the work of the spiritualist, the work of anybody who works in the psychic trade, healing, anything, and I would say this to all you guys out there, is never an easy road, because your life was never easy before it started, even if you were born with it. Do you agree? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have to go through a challenging life to understand and enjoying this. Chad says, hi, liking this. And Marlene says, where were you a cadet nurse?
I was a cadet nurse from September 75 to 77 at Wiston Hospital. And then I went on to do my nurse training there.
Okay, where's Wiston?
Prescott, Merseyside.
Prescott, Merseyside.
It's Wiston and St Helens hospitals were Knowsley then.
Okay.
Knowsley.
Okay. Well, Marlene's very interested there. I think that, yes, Marlene works in the medical profession, and blessings to all you people who work in the medical profession. I don't have anything to do with it. Lol, strange I came in now. Yes, it's always strange when you appear, Val. There's always something going on, which is very strange. And Susanna says, so true. And loads of people come in to say how much they're enjoying the show. And Cheryl says they're very interesting. And Taz says, totally agree. Yes, to do this job and to be, I think you need to have a life experience which has shaken the foundations of your world to understand that there's more outside there than what we go through. Okay, I think we're coming up to that time. In fact, I'm just seeing if the bugler's ready to say that. Is that the bugler's ready? Right, okay. Marlene just comes back and said, I was a cadet nurse and did my training at Trafford General.
Manchester.
Yeah, training. Yeah, we understood what you meant there by training. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Very, very nice. Right. Okay. Tim Abbott says here, because you're a nurse, do you receive lots of precise information about illnesses or how the communicator from the spirit died? That's an interesting question.
Yeah. Not so much precise, because at the end of the day, the spirit only gives me how they passed. Like they wouldn't say, I've had a myocardial infarct and I've had this, that and the other. They'd probably say, oh God, I had a heart attack or something like that. Depending on how they understand of things, I only give how they give me the information. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, I do. I do. My mum was a nurse, and I used to understand a lot about that. And I had even my wife's a nurse. She was a nurse, and so I understand a lot of medical information there. And yes, I agree with you. When you have a little bit of logical insight or reality insight, and then you start working spiritually, I think the two do have a little bit of a link.
Yeah, they do have a link, but depending on how they give it to you, that's how you should deliver it.
I agree with you.
And not try and put it into the precise bit.
Yes. Yes. Sometimes I get like they absolutely tell me pulmonary embolism.
Yeah.
And I get that and say where it was in the body, I haven't got a clue. But they just said pulmonary embolism. Or someone I had the other day, they said that TB, there is TB. And you get the information. But I'm only saying here, this is what they're telling me. I am not saying this is exactly how it happened because we can't say that. We've got to be very careful medically. And we also have disclaimers here, as you probably know, Tim, by the looks of you, sir, that we're very careful how we express that. Yes. Right. Very interesting how you both started. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Deborah. Deborah is saying hello to everybody through the group here. And just to say here, it's so nice to have you all on. It's a lovely evening tonight, isn't it?
It's roasting in here.
Let's just give you guys a little bit of a round of applause. And I think we're coming up to that time here. Yeah, the bugler's ready. Right. Okay. Just come back onto this. Very interesting, Tim. I understand what you're saying about honesty, but if you look at somebody like the medium Albert, best fanatical evidential medium, and he worked in a sorting office because he was comfortable with addresses, he will receive lots of full addresses in his mediumship. I don't dispute that.
My friend does that. My friend Ian Black does that. He actually gets names of roads and towns,
I know
cities,
him. Yes.
And I think, my God, how does he get that? But I totally understand what you're saying there.
Yeah, it's amazing. It is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so fascinating, this. Yeah. Well. Okay. Very interesting. So you are their voice. Yes. We take that, and take that as a very how can I say here, respectful thing that you take on. You're their voice because you want to try and listen, get the message as clear as possible.
Sometimes it comes quick,
Does it
and
ever?
you think you'll only catch half of it.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be very careful when you're delivering a message because actually you're dealing with people's emotions here.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful. I don't try to wrap it up. I'll just give it as it comes. But there's certain things when you have to say, hang on a minute, I can't say it like that. Or if they want you to say it so that the person who's receiving the message will understand completely who it is, because that's the way they would talk.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's interesting how it comes across, and sometimes you just got to take it as it is, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, you've got to take it as it is. And sometimes, I agree, if you've got an earthly, I think Tim's right, if you've got an earthly connection with something, and you've got experience, like nursing, if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, having family around this, it's brilliant. It helps you to get where you're going. I love anything to do with the forces, because I was in the forces. I loved anything to do with anything that comes up a little bit, especially if someone passed away with mysterious circumstances. Because I used to also work with law and the prison service, so I thoroughly enjoyed that. But yes, and it's also, I think as well here, it's also worked with psychology, is the spirit tries to give me the understanding of what's going on in a relationship or a particular situation, and put it in an easier way for two people to understand, or one person or three people to understand. So yeah, very, very interesting. Okay, guys, this is awesome. Thank you so much for your lovely attendance today. We've got loads of people watching. Thank you very much. And the producer says a big thank you to Kevin for helping me tonight. Well, we actually want to say a big thank you to the producer and to Kevin, because you're doing a fabulous job, because without you guys, the stream wouldn't work as effective as it does. So thank you guys so much. Okay. Now, Tim, we share something here. I used to be a racing car driver, so when I'm doing my mediumship and I have somebody who passes a vehicle accident, yes, my awareness seems to be more open. I get more precise information about the accident of the vehicle. Tim, if you know this place, I used to work at a Millbrook test proving ground in Bedfordshire, and I used to test drive cars, all sorts, beautiful cars, and drive them drive cars that you would never wish to drive them at, especially lovely cars. It's probably you've done at some point there, Tim. But no, fabulous. I think it's very, very interesting. Brilliant. Getting very hot, says.
It is. So
yes, it is. It really is. Steady now. Is that a medical joke?
Oh.
Helen Graham says, nursing, how was being with them when they... that's an interesting question. Guys, we're going to go a little bit over 8 o'clock tonight, because I think this is so interesting, your questions. This is brilliant. In nursing, how was being with them when they passed? How was it like that for you?
Well, to be honest, it was quite an honour, because especially if there'd be no family around, you'd be the only person there to talk to them. And it's when you can do little things for them, like the last thing.
Oh,
Do you understand what I mean? And if they're alone, it's just talking to them, because your last sense to go is your hearing, and to let them know that they weren't alone. And it was lovely. I know it sounds weird, but I find it was a lovely experience to go through. When I came back, for example, from Australia on the, for, no, tell a lie, 2nd of January, my next door neighbour waited for me, and I went in to see her, and I stayed with her till she passed. But she knew I was there because she sat up and then lay down again. But it is an honour and a privilege, actually, to be there when somebody does pass, because just to tell them, talk to them, not to be afraid, because people sometimes have had horrendous stories, pardon me, told to them. Oh, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, and it's just being there, and they know that you're there, just to give them comfort so that they're not afraid. I personally thought it was an honour.
My experience of this is, and I maybe sharing me here, and I think that is an honour. How wonderful that you could do that, says Liz, holding their hand. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've done that. I've had the privilege of holding one of my best friend's hands just as he passed. That was amazing. Oh God, that even just think about it, just brings back the memory so sharp there. Helen Grove says exactly how she felt. Hello, Emily from Kevin. And right, okay, yes. So interesting about this conversation. And would you? I think like this, and actually, when I work with spirit myself, and maybe you said the same thing here. Those last few minutes on life, and you could whisper something very nice to someone before they pass.
Yeah,
that is a glowing love, big thing I love here to to pass that.
yeah,
over.
because sometimes I've had a message when I've been to a spiritualist church from some of my patients.
Wow.
And they've actually said what was being said.
Now that's interesting. Yeah, you say that. Yeah. Oh my God,
yeah.
Isn't that amazing? So that's just mind blowing, isn't it? I think as well here is, yes, I've experienced as well, like people worked in a care home, and I said, I don't know why, but I've got loads and loads and loads of people want to come over and talk to me. And someone gives that little bit of precise information and says, oh my God, yes. I know who you mean with that person. Okay, Lydia says, the most special job, Helen, I did palliative care for a while, the most special job in the world. When I used to have to verify a death, patients I don't know when on call, most of the time I'll be fine. I occasionally caught out and run away and come back later as the spirit was there. Yes, it's, wow, yes, yes, but I go that, yes, okay, I think I know what you mean there, but yes, you do know.
Yeah.
Last thing you could do is that, Helen, I absolutely believe you that through all existence life here, and I think it's some of the lessons you can learn in life. Some of one of your life lessons may be just as you pass.
Yeah, I can remember when I was training, sorry to go back on this, and we were on nights, when your friends were on nights, if somebody passed over, they'd ring me up, they'd say, Helen, will you come out and lay this body out for me, please? Yeah. But that was an honour and a privilege, because again, it's the last thing that you were doing for that person. And I'd say, what's up with you? They'd be all, ooh. I'd say, what's wrong? So they'd leave me, they'd go and cover my part while I did their job on the ward, and then they'd come back and I'd go back to mine.
That's a lot. Do you think that's a lot based by the media, like horror stories in the middle of the night?
I don't haven't watched too many films.
Yes.
But to be honest, that's how it was. I was never afraid.
Oh, that's fantastic. When my mum was not well, I was speaking to her and she didn't really respond. But when I held my mum's and speak right near her ear, she stroked and squeezed my hand. That is lovely. That is lovely.
They say that you should never, ever discuss anything, even if somebody is unconscious.
Yes.
Because they can hear you.
Yes. And Lydia says that she wouldn't be scared now. That's wonderful. Lydia, I don't think you would be. You're amazing. No. Yes. Mum's hand. Yes, Lenny, yes, we understand you. Stroke your mum's hand. Now, isn't it interesting? Because I said goodbye to one of my friends like that. And he was younger than me. He was fit as anything. He was in the army. I was in the Navy. And he had, out of the blue, had a massive heart attack. And they got him back to life, but then before he got to the hospital, he had another 4 minor heart attacks.
Gosh.
And he's on a life support machine in there. And I knew when I saw him there, I thought, buddy, you're not here. You're not here. You're not there. And literally a day later, I was driving along. I was literally just thinking of my friend. I was crying my eyes out, and I was driving along. And I literally had this feeling here to slow down, almost stop. And as I did, out of this ether came my best friend. And Richie Brown was his name. Richie Brown was the nicest guy in the world. And just came up to me and gave me a big hug. He said, I can't come back, my friend. I'm too damaged. I love you. And I just, that was it. I just had to stop for an hour and just, that feeling.
When my brother passed, he was ill, but he was only ill for 12 months. And then I was, of course, up north. He lived down south because he'd been in the forces. And me and Kev were in bed. And the next thing, it was just turned 3 o'clock in the middle, about 3 minutes past 3. I sat bolt upright, and Kevin said, what's up? I said, our Stephen's passed.
Yes.
And he said, don't say that. I said, I'm telling you, he's passed. Because I felt this light feeling as though everything had floated away. I said, he has. And I turned over, went back to sleep. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, my mother rang me and told me.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because I believe that when a spirit's passed very close to you, they do come back to you to let you know.
It's the only time that's ever happened.
They do come back to you to let you know they've passed and they're okay. Yes. That made me cry, Phil. I'll tell you what, I was in absolute tears. I had to stop for over an hour and just really digest this. But that my best friend told me that he loved me and that he couldn't come back, and that the spiritual hug was just like, oh my God, it went straight into my heart.
Yeah.
So it was incredible feeling. And I was blessed. I felt blessed to be able to do that. And yes, I think we do get moments at those times in life, which although it's a change of life, it's so
it's like
special.
It's like a lesson.
Oh, you get
So I believe that things that happen to us in life, whether it be experiences like that or really bad experiences or good experiences, they're all learning lessons in life because it makes you have empathy with other people who have experienced the same things.
Yes. Yes.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do this job.
No, I don't think you would. I think it's it's of all the jobs I think I've done in the world, and I think all the jobs you've done in the world, this is the best job in the world.
Yeah.
Definitely the best job, hands down to everything when you feel and experience this. And I know, Liz, you're a healer. I'm sure when you experience doing healing, that it's the best job in the world. Eleni, I know you like watching these shows here, but when you really think and you start focusing spiritually, I'm sure you'll find something amazing there. Lydia, you're incredible. You're incredible soul. And right, okay, let's go and Val with her type of work here. And I know when she gets into the spirit state that she's just incredible. Yes. Oh, yeah. Right, where's that trumpeter? For goodness sake, where is he? Where is he?
Trumpeting here.
Here he is. I think we've got some... Oh, that's it. Here comes a call. We're going to get some readings on the go now. Oh, okay, but Liz Hall says, yes. Oh, dear. And Taz says, totally do. When I held my nan and she passed that morning, I was stood in my kitchen and my poor Poos, her husband, was there, smelt his aftershave and sensed him, and a light to my right back shoulder. That was the first time my sense of smell kicked in. I knew he was saying thank you. So you are right there. Something very beautiful. Yes, I think she meant Pops. She's Poos. Poos. Pops. Yeah. We're trying to work that one out there, Tazza. Poos. Okay, right. Okay.
That's summertime too.
Suddenly you hear a noise. He's passed. Sorry. Well, we do. There's humour in this, isn't there? Yeah. There is humour in this. Got to have fun. Okay, Taryn, we might as well start you anyway. You've actually said here, Taryn, your colour is turquoise. And you like a general reading. Now, I love to work as an aura medium. And whilst you're focusing there a little bit, I'll just introduce that a little bit. I like to work as an aura medium, so I like to work with colour. Hence, I ask here. For a colour, so I can sense the colour. From the colour, I then start to work with spirit, and the spirit then starts to come through, and everything then helps me a great deal. Now, as I start working here, the first thing, would you understand? Okay, I've got to say his name first of all because it comes straight into me, and I don't know who this guy is. Would you understand here a gentleman called Gerald. Gerald. His name is Gerald. He just wants to say the name Gerald. Because as I'm working with this colour turquoise, I've got this gentleman standing forward. Now, I do know, I'm just trying to work. Yes, he's just coming through. A very, very nice man. Very nice man here. And he's just showing me here that he had glasses somewhere, and also very dark haired man, very charismatic, likes to wear a sort of suit. Gerald is, but the Gerald is spelt funny. He's just telling me here the Gerald isn't spelt a normal way. It's spelt a different way. It's almost like rather than G-E-R-A-L-D, Gerald, it's like G-E-A-U-R-L-D, something like this. But there's something about his spelling he's just trying to introduce to me here. Would you understand if I've got to say to you here, you've got to be careful of bread. Careful of bread here. That's just what I'd like to start with here. He just pointed this here. He also wants to give me, just throwing at me in the air here, just throwing by the side of me, a set of keys. A set of keys. The keys is to do with the property. The keys is to do with moving. And there's been times when you may have been putting this off and thinking, no, I'm going to stay where I am. Yes, I'm going to move. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. And all of a sudden, yes, you are. So I get a feeling of a home move here. And this gentleman that I'm talking to here, very, very nice man. He wants to let me know here, says that he passed away because he's very sick, but it was related somewhere to do with his stomach. He had a lot of stomach issues. He just says to me here, but he's sending this over to you, and not the illness. He's just sending his love over to you here, and he's got a wink in his eye here, and he wants to go to. He doesn't want to go directly in your family line here to say he was a father or grandfather here. I've got to go to the side of this guy. So if you understand this guy, please let us know. And also, I pick up this guy here. He had something to do with boats, He had like sailing boats. He's sailing on water. And he used to love all this. And he just says here, he just wants to say, I love these comments. You're so polite, people tonight. I love this. Marlene's put, general reading, anything for me. And she comes back later on and says, sorry, please. We love you, Marlene. This is what the show's all about. I love the humour here we have here. Oops, I forgot to say please. So, yes. Anyway, so that's what he's actually saying here. So that's what I pick up. What would you like? I know there's other spirits here coming through as well. Yeah. But what would you like?
Well, as I said, I usually get somebody beforehand, so I don't know whether this is for Taz. I was given the name Derek for a gentleman, and the name Doreen was shouted out. And then I was sat on a chair and a lady's energy came through, and she made me feel as though she'd had a stroke. And all of a sudden I felt very hot and I needed a fan. So I feel that she had the fan on her at the time of her passing.
Wow.
And it was really, really hot. And I have to say it was quite peaceful, her passing, because she's not giving me loads of all this, that and the other. She had the stroke, but she didn't pass with that straight away. She's telling me there were other issues, but they didn't find out till later.
Okay.
Now then, she's saying to me, sausages. Now, you gave a colour for Taz, for green.
Turquoise.
Turquoise. Now, turquoise to me reminds me of the sea.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that there's something, this is why this lady's come, there's something at sea here around this person. Something's not going according to plan, I have to say. Things are a bit up and down. But then you've always been like that. And laughing, this lady said, you've always been a bit up and down. And she's laughing. She's quite a strong lady. And she's put a handbag on my arm as though she would carry a handbag like that. You know, the old-fashioned way, not like in your hand. She'd put it across here and hold her hand up. And she brings me the colour yellow for you. And she says, things will come out into the open, because for me, the sunshine, like going into the fields, whatever the fields has to do it, but things will come out in the open and will be better. But listen to what she said.
Oh, lovely. I got Gerald back here. He just wants to come back. He wants to mention banks. This may well be the fact that he worked in a bank. He also says to me here, he says underground. What's going on underground? I get the feeling here that there's a lot going on underground around you at the moment that you can't quite put your finger on. Interesting to say things come out into the open. They do. But it's interesting thing is, if I put it in relationship to this, you're above ground and you've got the stronger energy, if I call it like that. So whatever it is that's underground around you, that's changed, you felt has been changing or altering your life in some way, whatever comes above, when it eventually comes up around here, you're thinking, I can deal with that. I can deal with that. Yes, it just feels a bit that way. Oh, yeah. Yes. Hope it has. I hope that's helped you out there. And right. Okay, let's go to Helen Graham. Helen Graham, she came through. She had the colour purple. And she wanted to say here, a question was here, what's happening to my mum's house? What's happening to my mum's house? Well, okay, just we can always do the Dorothy bit. We can always click our heels together and say there's no place like home. But I don't think you want to hear that though, do you? Okay, purple. First of all, the colour purple here. Helen, as I'm working with you and I start to pick up this energy with you, I would just like to say there's interesting here. What's going on around your face, please? And what's going on with teeth and what's going on around here? Because immediately I'm touching here, I just get this, this energy around you, which is relating to this. So I'm just looking for this at the moment. So I just feel that this area here, maybe need dentistry or something's going on around here. This is also stress. Would you understand a lot of stress here, which is going through your jaw and areas like this? Because that's the energy I'm starting to pick up here. So Helen, that's what I see there. Now, what I also pick up with you, and maybe you'd understand this too, is this, right, okay. Right. Would you understand here? Now, I've got a lady here. Who's in the spirit world, who's coming through, and she's not happy. She says, Helen Graham says, just booked a dentist. Good, there you go. Good. That's a nice bit of evidence anyway. But she's actually coming through here. She's not happy. She's not happy, but she's not mad at you. She's just unhappy. Would you understand the decisions around this house that you're actually doing at the minute are not going your way because of interference? Would you understand not going away because other people got different opinions? And would you understand here would you understand you just need to stamp your feet down a little bit and say, look, this needs to be sorted? Would you understand you need to sort this? What would you like to say?
Oh sorry. The colour purple, I think, is a very spiritual colour. So Helen, you are obviously a very spiritual person. And the lady that Phil was just on about came through, but I had a terrible smell of mothballs. And I mean mothballs. So I feel as though something is come out into the open, which has been hidden for a while. So, yeah, come on, love. She said to me, the highest bidder, don't let anybody fool you into just getting rid and the highest bidder, because... And she's telling me, has somebody been trying to take her stuff, or has somebody got rid of her stuff?
There's something going on there.
There's something not quite right. And she's saying, it's not, I don't like it. This lady's telling me that she was quite spiritual in her own way. Right. I know you think of her in your thoughts and prayers, but she's also saying she prays for you, because there's something going on around you that's not quite nice, is the word I have to say. Not nice. But you need to be strong and you need to do what you have to do.
I agree with that. I agree. And I also think here as well, working with the side, I think we've got the same spirit here. And I get a feeling here that I like the hybrid a bit, but I get a feeling a decision's got to be made and you've got to push this a little bit. Without being awkward or without being too difficult. But I feel a decision, rather than actually taking a step back and saying, oh, well, they'll make their minds up soon. No, I think it's you stepping forward saying, I think this should happen, and maybe being a little bit on the firm side with this. And I think that go where you want it. I think things work out a little bit better. Yes, Helen Graham says, thank you. So that's a little bit what I'm picking up here. I also get the feeling here, you know a lot at the moment. And would you understand it? It's like you know a lot, but you can't really put this into words just yet. And it's not right to put it into words, because it's almost like as soon as you do, like if you confront people, it just they'll knock you straight down. straight down, because there's not, I wouldn't say not the evidence here, but what you have though is the knowledge of knowing. That's where you work with now. It's the knowledge of knowing, not how you're going to confront people. Debs, I think you're hilarious. Debs Harris, it's the amount of typos going on with you here. You've got about 30 messages coming through with recorrecting the typo of the last typo and the typo of the typo. And it's hilarious. Anyway, right. So, Helen, thank you so much. Lovely to meet you, Steve. Lovely to see you. Okay, Tonya's coming through here. Helen says here, yes. I think it is that. Anyway, let's come back on to Tonya. Tonya, Colour white. Oh, my life has been turned upside down in 10 days. Colour white. Tonya, colour white. If you want to start on this one, by all means do, because I think I just got that feeling. The feeling you're going to go. It's that feeling like I'm going to go.
Well, when you said the colour white, colour white for me, for this person, means new beginnings. And you said that your life has transpired to be different in 10 days. Well, sometimes we have no control over what happens. We have no control over, should we say, fate things. And this is reason for this, whatever it is that's happened. It's not for me to say over broadcasting, but it's new beginnings for you. And as I speak to you, I have a gentleman and a lady that's coming, but they stand in either side of me. One either side of me. And the gentleman he was quite tall, and he liked to wear a hat, and not a cap. He liked to wear a hat because he tips his hat at the ever so gentleman. And the lady next to him is going, he's mine. So I feel that he was a good looking man. The lady is just standing there. She's not saying much, but she's making her presence felt. And I feel that this was her personality. And she's saying, this is what you'll have to do now, love. You'll have to do this. Make your presence felt. You don't have to go in shouting and yawping and arguing and fighting and whatever this situation's over. But make your presence felt. Just stand there like she would do. I've been given the name Mabel, which is a strange name for me, but I'll give it to you. I don't know if it's her name or she's saying Mabel, which will connect with her. She gave me the name Philip, but not him. She gave me Bill. And she gave me Francis. The full name Francis, not Francis. Just take the name she's telling me. You will remember. So if she's insistent, you will remember the names. She's telling me now that belonging to the family, there's 5 children in spirit. Not 1, 2, whatever. It's belonging to the family. There are 5. She's got 5. One touched the earth plane. One was taken from the earth plane, and the other 3 never made it. So if you just think along those lines, what I've just said, you'll understand it.
That is so interesting. You said about the one who touched the earth plane and then was taken back. I was talking to and picking up a young man behind me, very young man, in fact, very young, and that he was taken away because of something around here was all wrong. It was something happened here. He doesn't really want to talk about that. All he wants to say here is he says that I lived, but he's gone back. But his message to you was here. You say your life's been turned upside down. Maybe it's been turned around the right way for you to look at it a different way, because maybe it was upside down before and now it's turned around the right way. And maybe what the tools of your life here to go ahead with, he's dancing with me here. He says, because this guy liked to dance. This guy liked to dance, be happy, and a very jolly man here. He says here that I get a feeling something just quickly took him. This is what it feels like to me. But he's dancing here. He says he enjoyed his life, but he just wants to say here that he's so happy to come through for you, to say here that he says you are entitled. This is interesting. You're entitled to a very happy life in front of you. And I think this is what's coming, because I think you saying here your life's been turned upside down. Is it turned around the right way? Because what comes ahead of you, I think, is going to inspire you a little. Yes. Okay, let's go to Marlene. Marlene, haven't spoken to you for a little while. It's lovely to come through to you. And it's also, I love the conversation that you're going backwards and forwards there with Helen and about nursing. And she's gone for the colour jade. It's a general reading. Anything for me? Okay, so if I was to go for jade, the colour jade, would you understand here that you're really looking at your life at the moment about where you're going work-wise and thinking that you're not as happy as what you were. It's like this is going to change. Your work life is coming up to change because I think you're going to make a choice here. And also, Marlene, I also get a feeling here. There's a lovely gentleman here who's in a spirit world who's just popping over my shoulder, and he says to me here the letter D to do with his name. He's got the letter D, just leading this first of all, and he's also like to come through here. Says here, there's an artist somewhere. There's the artist, the painter, the painter, or the artist. He just actually his words were the artist. I can't take that away. I was adding in the painting, but I hear the artist, and he's saying to me here. He says here, would you understand it that you just need to just hold yourself back just a little bit at the moment, because he just says here it's almost like here, whatever's going on in your life at the moment, the way he's describing this to me, you just need to hold back and you just need to be a bit steady there. He's looking at your house. He's looking at where you're living. Yes, it's interesting here because he's playing in my throat. So there's something wrong with this guy's throat here before he passed. And he's just saying to me too, there's a lot to do with your house. Would you understand you need to sort or feel to get in balance your house first, then everything else comes in order. But would you understand you would like to travel, and would you like to bring work into travel as well, like working abroad? He's just given me little ideas here. He says here, he's got a ruler with him. He says, you don't measure things. He says, you're trying to measure things, the value of things. Just let things, I get a feeling that life and love brings out the measurement of things, if that makes sense to you. But yes, that's... my dad used to paint. Right, dad used to paint. So there he is. Good. Dad used to paint. That's lovely. I really feel his ear, and I just feel that he just wants. He's more of his information here as well. Here it says here that you put down books of the past. He says here something that you were training for yourself or wanted to do. He just said me, you'll pick those books back up again. Yes. It's over to you now.
Well, when you were talking to, is it Marlene? Yeah. I had the name Paul shouted from Spirit to you. And then I also, the colour jade, when I looked at, I feel that green for me is with the emotional, the heart area. But I got a picture of a little jade Buddha. And I thought, right, that's very calming. So I feel that your emotions need calming down. I also had a young man come forward and he said he took his own life. He gave me the name Tony, whether it just connects with him and it wasn't his name. Now then, I've just been given pig's trotters put on the table for you.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. And I thought, what's they for? Because these pig trotters were like to be eaten by the person in spirit, because like now I've got an older gentleman coming through and he's the one that's put the pig's trotters on. He's let the young ones come through and now it's his time to come through. Come on then. Would you understand a brother in spirit? Not this gentleman, but he's talking about a brother in spirit. I don't know if it's your brother or there was a brother and... Come on, I need more information than that. Yes, it's a brother in spirit belonging to you. Now, would you understand who was working with carpets? You know, like carpet fitters and things like that, because he's laying a carpet out for me. And everything had to be so precise. Bum, 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 bum. And it's a beautiful carpet. Oh, and woe betide anybody that stood on it when he'd put it down. Bare feet only, no shoes at all. So what he's doing is he's laying out the carpet for you. So symbolically, you have to take your shoes off and just go forward on this carpet. And you know what new carpets are like? Feels a bit prickly at times. I think this is the path that you're going to tread. You might not like the feel of it at first, and I think it's a spiritual path. He'll be watching over you, because you might think, oh, I don't like this. You'll be fine because he's with you and he'll watch you all the way. and that's the new way that you're going to go. And maybe the Buddha is to calm you down when you get the exciting bits of, oh, I don't like this. You're going to zoom on, girl. You're going to zoom on.
I love this.
Zoom.
Absolutely love
zoom,
this.
Zoom.
Love this.
Right. Would you understand Polly put the kettle on, whether it's the name Polly or the kettle was never off? Yeah, quite posh, I would say. Now, all I can smell, I don't know if it's his or is a pipe. And the tobacco's really, really strong. Now, if you can't understand him smoking the pipe, I feel there's a pipe apiece needs to be smoked. Because he wouldn't be impressed, he'd just stand and watch what was going on. Yeah. Oh, it's definitely the pipe of peace. Definitely. Right, he's telling me, he showed me the holly wreath, which is Christmas time, very significant for him. He's saying February and he's saying August, month coming up now. They're 3 main anniversaries that are very significant. Right. Okay, it just said, try love, because he's now stood at the front door with the door behind him and he's just waving, try love. And he's told you what to do, just do it. Thank you.
This is one of the first times I think I've ever worked where I've actually heard the spirit that's talking to you.
It's quite strong.
Yes, it was quite strong. And also because he was just showing me here as well. Would you understand here, there were, and I'm not being funny here, they're just saying here, funny ways of making money. I'm not going into anything here, but they say to me here as well, would you understand that you were thinking, doing a little bit like healing? Because my hands have just gone very, very hot. Now, what he's saying to me here is, it's not just about the healing of your hands, it's the healing of your finger. You know, like sometimes here we think we've got to put the hands on someone. What if you put your finger on someone and it's got very close to, I don't know, with the wrist, something like this. I just think that's beautiful. No, that was awesome. That was awesome.
No, it was him that was awesome. He come forward.
Well, it is. It's always a privilege, absolute privilege, to get spirit information like that. And I think it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. When they're free flowing like that, it's a lovely, lovely feeling. Okay, right. Let's go and have Debs is blatting through here. Debs, but now she wrote a little question here, and I want to just go back to her because I'm not going to go and look for what she's asked, but I think, Deb, I'd just like to give a little message to you because I think you're absolutely lovely. And never met you before, but you're a lovely lady. Lovely, I just feel that energy from you. You're a lovely soul. And would you understand here? Marlene just says thank you. So that's absolutely lovely. And right, I'm just going to go and find you. I just knocked you off there accidentally, but yes, let's get you go. Okay, she just says, you guys are awesome, great messages. Thank you very much. Now, if I were to come through to you, Debs, I want to talk about two ladies. Two ladies here. One says to me she's a grandmother, and I want to talk about a daughter. Now, would you understand here? Now, a daughter doesn't mean to say here's exactly your mother. It could also be your aunt on your butt up there, because she wants to give you two women in line. And they're coming through to you here because one of the first things that says you, Debs, here is they just want to give me a great big cauliflower. And I'm thinking, well, what do you give me cauliflower for? And they say here, would you understand here that you need to increase the vegetables in your diet? Like, for instance, we're not eating right. They just want to give you this here. And also, would you understand Margaret, please? I know it's a very easy name to say in the spirit world, but Debs, I just want to say the name Margaret. And I want to pull this name here because it's absolutely lovely. They're one of these two, and I'll just see which one it is that minute wants to call in Margaret. And one of them's got something else. And I also want to pick out, I want to see a lake with swans in it and feeding the swans. She's feeding the swans with me. And she also wants to talk about a gentleman here who may have been a grandfather who, right, okay. Would you understand here, if I said to you about an older gentleman could well go up to grandfather along his line here who took his life in a car. I'm aware of this. She's just saying this to me here. And they're just coming through because they want to love you. They want to say to me here too. Would you understand here that you are starting to experience better shelter? So this sounds like a house, but it's also here. You're feeling a bit more secure in yourself. And I feel here just feeling that things are getting better. And they are. I just get the feeling that they are going to get better for you. And I'm not here to say everything is going to get perfect, but in general, things are like to go and pick themselves up for you. They're also wanted to come through and say here that, would you understand here about checking your numbers, please? Check your numbers.
I don't believe you saying that.
Yeah, okay. And they're just saying about checking numbers, and they're checking numbers with me to make sure things are right. So, Deb, you'd understand that. And also, what I'd like to say, what I also like to say here is yes, I've got this other gentleman just comes stomping in here, and he says here, I was a big mouth. This chap comes in and says, I was a big mouth. He got himself into so much trouble by being a big mouth. And it's almost like he used to stomp round his boots. And I almost want to go H-A to do with his name, like Harry. Harry, this is H, and this is Harold, could be, but I just want to go H-A first of all with his name here. And he wants to come through. And he's saying here that, yes, he was a slightly angry man here. I think he expected more out of his life, but he's saying to you, his message to you here is, he's not harping this on his life to you to say you're not doing enough. He's saying here, no, on the contrary here. Would you understand here that you are learning new skills, but there comes to a point where you stop learning the skills and start putting them into practice? I'll leave that be there and just jump over there. Oh, blimey. Yes, I do understand. Well, blimey. Okay. Okay. She's laughing her head off and just says here, oh, that's good. Okay. Now, would you like to add anything to this, Deb?
Well, when you said there was two ladies coming through, I got two fat ladies, and then I got a bingo ball. And one of them thrust a dabber, as they call them, into my hand and was dabbing. So she was obviously a fanatic over the bingo. And I was being told that your look's going to change, really going to change. You've been feeling a bit down, shall we say. Not down, but a bit down, a bit fed up. You know, nothing's happening for me. Well, it's going to change. And this lady said, bum, 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 bum. Try the bingo, she says. Try the bingo. People take the mick out of it, but you can win, because I had a few good wins.
Ah, okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay.
I also was given the name Stella, and I wasn't quite sure whether it's the earth plane or spirit, and I won't make it fit, but Stella was mentioned. Also Susan.
Well, I got Margaret there. First time. Okay, good. No, brilliant. Okay, she's laughing anyway. Good. Well, good luck to you. Very good luck to you. I get a feeling here. Do you know what I pick up, Tess? You're such a nice soul. I think you need a bit of good news to come up here, and I think there is a bit of good news. It's not maybe money on bingo. If you win some money, fantastic, but I think just in general here, there's a loveliness to you. We want to send you a big hug, a big heart, and a burger. It's the same. House, lol. Yes, shelter. They're talking about shelter here. Oh, dear. Okay, right. Guys, we didn't expect you guys to just be so awesome tonight. I must admit, we're coming on with a bit of a surprise because Helen actually came over our way tonight. Margaret's my mother. That's fantastic news here. You two work so well together. Thank you very much indeed. That's so nice. Sooty and sweet, yes. Leonardi. Okay, all right. Anyway, so guys, we'd just like to say here, thank you so much for coming through. And there we go. Love and a burger. Love and a burger.
On the beach.
Yes. We're going to be on tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And tomorrow is the wonderful show. I'm just going to put this on for you. You should know what it's all about. Yes, it's a spiritual astrology show tomorrow, and with a little bit of a twist. You know how we like to twist things every now and then. And yes, so we look forward to seeing you. And it starts 11 o'clock in Spain, 10 o'clock in the UK. And you can reach us on Cafe Clairvoyance on Facebook and also on YouTube. And guys, what can I say? We have so enjoyed tonight. I must admit, we have some blinding conversations. Yeah. It was nice. We could have gone for hours. But I know some of you have got to go and make dinner, take the dog for a walk.
Glass of wine.
That's what me. Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Me.
They've not ate it all.
But they have. The producers eaten it all. No, what they're like. Anyway, guys, have a terrific evening with whatever you're doing. We send you all our love. Just say here, thank you so much. Thank you.
Night, God bless.
Don't forget the burger. Okay.
Pizza.
Pizza burger. Okay.